All right, and the time is, let's just quickly make sure that we don't have music playing over our conversation with our guest, who is Smama, who's here. And of course, the time is 7:38 right on Kofifi FM 97.2. My name is Ronnie and we have a special guest who is indeed gracing us with his presence this morning. We're going to be getting to know a lot more about his work that is done. The song we played for you is coming through by him, and it's called Tandaza.
Tandaza.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Ronnie, and good morning to the listeners.
How are you this morning, my friend?
I'm good. It was hard waking up every Sunday. I'm hardly up at this time every Sunday, but yeah, I'm here. But I'm looking forward to the interview.
Yes, if it's hard for you, imagine I wake up at 4 to be here.
Sure, no,
it's 6 right on the dot to get started. But thank you very much for being with us this morning. And Ms. Smama, you're a medical doctor, you are a singer, you're a songwriter. How does it all begin?
Too many slashes.
Too many.
Well, man, I think the two are they actually go together. I mean, medicine and music, they're all about healing. So I can't say how they go together, besides that they are the same.
Yeah.
Because with medicine, you get to heal a person physically and psychologically, and with music then you get to touch what medicine cannot, which is the soul.
Right.
So now you get to be this person that heals a person like in a holistic manner.
Holistic, yeah. And when did you know that music was going to be a path that you're also going to follow outside of medicine?
You know, it's something you're born with. Music is something you're born with. Yeah. I think I've always known since a very young age. I remember, I think I was still in higher primary school. Don't know what they call these days. You know, things change all the time. But it was higher primary school when this happened. One of my aunts, because was that kid that sings all the time.
Yeah.
So she was like, no, when that was about a musician, that's about cool.
Yeah.
So I think that stuck on my head.
Okay.
I was doing like rest of 5, I think. So I think from then I knew that, you know what, this is what I would love to do. But, along the way things come, and I love medicine as well. Yeah. So I decided to go the medical path and do my studies in medicine. And you know, the earlier you do the studies, the better, because I mean, at my age now, imagine if I went back to medical school, it would be hard. So I had to get that out of the way, but at least in my 20s, I'm done with studying, and then I can concentrate on the music.
Yeah. And I always find this quite interesting for people that are doing both a professional career outside of music, and then they also have this music thing that keeps on bugging them. So at what point do you say let me study and finish and get it out of the way, and the music, does the music die during that time, or is it dormant? Is it are you working on it? What's happening with the music whilst you are pursuing the studies?
It doesn't really die, hey? This is one thing you just can't run away from. I tried too many times. But while I was still in medical school, I actually had a band. It was called Smama, so I got some guys who were actually studying music to work with. So they really taught me so much. So I was working in that band, and would do shows around Cape Town, around the institution itself, around other institutions like your University of the Western Cape, your Cape Tech at the time. So it never really died down. And I was writing music also. But I only became a professional songwriter. Professional because it started being sung by professional artists. I think around 2009. Okay. So it's not something that really died. I just concentrated more on the medical side, because then in 2012 I released a gospel album. But I was still building the medical career on the other hand. So that sort of took a backseat. So the album was there, but I didn't really do much in terms of marketing it. And also, I think around 2012, 2013, I think the time Dr. Mandela was sick and he eventually passed on. There's a song we did with Tim Bisile and Tulani. It was a collaboration, a tribute to Dr. Mandela. So it has been there, man. I can't say there was a point where I just parked it aside and now let me just do the medicine.
So I mean, let's talk about your songwriting, because that's probably one of the things that people might not know, that you've written for the greats, some of our favorite gospel artists. First of all, who have you written for?
Okay, I've written for the late Lundi Jamaica the Great.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I was always a fan. I was always a fan. So when I got to meet him, I was like, what? I actually wanted to meet him because I wanted to write for him.
For him, yes.
And somehow God made it happen for me. I met a friend that knew somebody, and then eventually I got to meet him. We worked together. We did the song Dipeli Mpilo.
Yeah.
I wrote that one for him. I presented it to him, and he was like, "Oh wow, I love the song." And then 2 years later, he had recorded it.
Yeah.
And over the years after that, we did a couple of other songs.
Yeah.
Some made it to album, some didn't. I still have like a stash that's there. Like someday I'm gonna.
Give me one.
I will. You've been asking for.
I'll be asking.
And then there's Berita.
Oh, okay.
Also, Berita, I got.
I mean, she's like a soul, Afro soul sound.
Afro soul sound,
okay.
yes. I met her through Nokwazi because I had a song. Actually, it's the song that I did in this album, Undivile. So I presented the song to her. She didn't really like it.
Yeah.
I think at the time it didn't fit the theme of the album.
Okay.
So we ended up doing another song
Yeah.
that she had composed. So I just co-wrote the song with her.
Okay.
And I worked with Nokwazi, Putuma, Bonagele. I've always loved Gospel Maskandi. So for me, it is like such an honor
Yeah.
to work with her. And Tulani. Who else, man? There's quite a number of people.
And so, I mean, you spoke about, you present a song and sometimes they don't like it.
Yes.
So how does the process work? Because I know there are a lot of people out there that might not know that they're actually songwriters because they think maybe, the writing process, has got a technique, it's got and maybe they feel like, no, the song I've written is not, it's not a song, it's not good enough. And sometimes you don't know that actually even the prolific songwriters, they get rejected sometimes. Someone doesn't like their song and you have to park it or go revise or do something different.
Yes. Not every song that you write is for everybody.
Right.
So you need to have that in mind and know that if I present this song to somebody, it may not be what they want. It may not be that it's not a great song. It may not, like I said with Berita, it just did not fit the theme of her album. It didn't make it a bad song, So you need to keep an open mind and know that it's not personal. Don't take it personally. And songwriting is personal in a way, in that you write about your own experiences.
Right.
And sometimes about things that you're saying. And they may not necessarily resonate with the next person, you see. So you need to keep all those things in mind. So do not make that make you feel like, no, you're not good at what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because I mean, man, it's like hunting for a job.
Yes.
You don't always get it. You go to all these interviews and then they turn you down. Does it make you not a great person or a great, a better skilled person?
Yeah.
No, sometimes you're just not the person you're looking for
at that time.
At that time, yeah.
No, that's really quite insightful. And so, between the songwriting and the singing, what is the bigger passion for you?
I get this question all the time. but yeah, I think for me songwriting is the bigger passion.
Okay.
Yes, I love singing, but with songwriting, I think it's seeing that little thought in your head coming to life. Yeah, and that's that. I was actually sitting somewhere or driving, and then I had this little thought, and a melody came. And now here it is, here's Tandaza.
Yeah.
And I cannot even remember when I wrote the song. I don't know what's driving somewhere. I'm always driving when I'm writing songs.
Yes.
And it just came.
Yeah.
But you have to refine the song, It doesn't come as good as it sounds eventually.
It doesn't come out complete.
No. It has to make sense. So the first verse may work for you.
Yeah.
But then now you need to work harder for the second one for the thing to just gel.
Yeah. And I mean, I often ask this question, what is the songwriting process? And I ask this because, especially in gospel now, we've got this debate going on, and it's been going on for many years, where we have to, singers and artists, are always challenged about why are you going back to the hymn book or Itilongo or whatever it is that you go to reference, right? Why aren't you writing new music? And so my question always is, what's that process of songwriting, and how should we balance, the hymn book against new material that we write?
I think processes are different for different people. It's a personal journey, man. There's no one size fits all.
Yeah.
You have to do what speaks to you. If you relate more to the word on the Bible or to a hymn book, do that, because what is a new song? A new song is what speaks to you in a new way at that particular point in time.
Yeah.
You may have had forever. But now, when it speaks to you, it speaks to you differently.
Interpretation, your revelation of it.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
quite different. I remember, I'm actually speaking about this song in particular because I've had this song all my life. I mean, from sub A,
Yes.
this song has been sung. Actually, even before sub A.
How old are you, Krubek? It's not
I'm that old. Yeah, there's been too many changes after that. So now you're distracting me. So this song has been sung forever.
Right.
And then one time I went to do the little theater. Tandy saw us performing.
Yeah.
And she sang this song. And for the very first time, I actually understood what the song meant.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong with going back to the hymn book. Because it may just be a revelation for a person sitting in the audience or sitting at home listening, like, oh, actually, this is what this song means. So it could have been sung by 10 people, but you were meant to reach that one soul.
Exactly. And your interpretation, I mean, we all interpret things differently because our lenses are different. The way we think, how we were raised, is different from the next person. And so I think moving maybe to more your own, growth as a person, as a human being. I mean, if I can sum it all together for you, you're a medical doctor, that means success. You're a prolific songwriter, that means success. You're a musician, that means success. I mean, someone just, they're thinking, this Smama guy, he's just, he's got everything together.
I wish.
What was it like growing up? What were the challenges that you faced as a young kid growing up, probably in the Eastern Cape, right?
Yes, it was in the Eastern Cape. I think I grew up like an average black boy. And I think when I look back now, I was like, I think we were a poor family, but for me it didn't feel like it at the time.
Right.
Because I think now I've got better resources,
Yeah.
So, but at the time, I think it really was not hard. It's only hard now when I look back. Yeah, because I think my grandmother and my mother tried so much to get me everything I wanted or what I needed, not wanted.
Right.
And I don't remember a time where I had a school project that I could not do because my family was struggling that much. They always made a plan to make things happen. So it was a comfortable upbringing, but there were challenges. I mean, we moved from Grahamstown, went to Port Elizabeth, and we were staying with a lot of cousins.
Yeah.
It was a little bit overcrowded, but as I was saying, at the time it didn't.
It was normal.
It is normal, man. Everybody around lived in the same conditions.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to answer this one because if I look back now, I'm like, but that was poverty.
Yeah.
But now, at the time when it was happening, we never went to bed hungry.
Right.
You see, so it really wasn't for me.
Yeah.
I got the love. I guess that's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
Getting the love in whatever condition you're in. If there's support and to a point where it doesn't feel like it's a struggle, then it's easier.
Right. Right.
I guess that's how I can answer that.
That's powerful because I think sometimes we look at people now, how they look, what the biography says, what the CV says, but we don't actually take into account the journey they've traveled, to get to where they are now.
True.
And so I think part of the reason we have these conversations is to inspire someone that's sitting, at home thinking, my situation is so dire, I'm in a 4-room house. We're crowded here, we sleep on the floor, all the cousins. I mean, we all went through that. I also went through that. And like it felt normal.
It did feel normal.
During the day, the living room is a living room with a TV. Hopefully that works.
Yes.
With that antenna.
Battery. We used to walk like 20 kilometers to get to a place that charges the battery.
Exactly.
And walk, not take a taxi.
Walk.
Yeah.
I mean, we did a lot of walking when we were children.
School was like 30 minutes away.
Imagine. So all of us have got a story. There's a backstory to who we are now, and I think that's always important for us to reflect on that. But it's powerful that you say, for you at that time. Now that you look back, you're like, hey, but that was actually poverty. But when you experience and going through that life experience, it feels normal.
Yeah.
There's nothing better that outside of that, but you know that you don't go to sleep hungry.
Exactly. And that's why I'm always wary of trying to make people feel like they're having the worst of situations unless somebody says it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you'll be driving down or walking around, because I work in a township.
Mm-hmm.
So you do not want to look down on the people, because
Yeah.
some may not even know that what they're going through is
Yeah.
a dire situation.
Yeah.
They are thriving through it.
Yeah.
And it can be a motivation for them to actually get to the next stage. So if you're coming here now as the savior,
Yeah.
are you really doing justice to the person, or you just destroying them? Because now they have this person that's just handing them everything.
Yeah.
And then is it gonna make a better person at the end of the day, or it makes you look good?
Yeah.
You see. So sometimes we will have to go through that so that they can achieve more.
And appreciate the value of having achieved more.
Exactly.
And so what would you say you've learned about relationships working in the music industry in particular? We won't talk about medicine now. I'm sure there are lots of stories to tell.
No, there are quite a lot. There's a story every day. I think those are quite important.
Mm.
There's, nobody is an island. You know, there's sort of lots of cliches, and they actually apply to real life.
Right.
No man is an island, and I've learned that a lot in medicine and music, because I would compare the two.
Yeah.
With medicine, if you decide that, okay, I'm done with my studies and I go open my own practice, that solely belongs to you, and everything that happens there is around you.
Yeah.
And here, me doing a project and it's done, now I have to work with other people. Actually, even before the project is done, I mean, getting the music produced, getting the music mixed, getting the music mastered, yes. That PR, and yeah, that's a story for another day. PR, marketing. So you have to build solid relationships, but also do not be naive going into that space.
What do you mean?
Because there's a lot of vouchers out there. There's lots of chance takers.
Yes.
And so you have to go with an open mind. So in your endeavor to build relationships, keep an open mind, be in tune with yourself, because you can always tell when somebody is not legit. Sometimes we just ignore those voices and say,
the red flags are there, but
the red flags are there.
Yeah, yeah. And speaking about relationships and vouchers in this space.
But I've only been like here professionally for like 2 years, but already I've got stories to tell.
I mean, if someone is wanting or aspiring to come into this industry, music, whether it's gospel or secular, what advice would you give them?
I think what is important is staying true to your vision. Know why you're here, know how you want to attain what you want to attain, and also do not be rigid at the same time.
Yeah.
So be flexible enough to listen to ideas, but also don't let those ideas taint and take away from what you want to achieve.
What your vision is,
To what your vision is, because I'm going to keep referencing to myself, because I've had PR managers telling me, no, your music is too slow, you need to find something that is upbeat, that's going to get people to like you and all that. But I'm like, that's not my vision.
Right.
And in radio, there are people that have been slower than my song. You can't tell me the song that cannot be played in radio because it's too slow. It's just you not wanting to do your job. You want an easy way out, So if you do not stay true to your vision, then you're gonna lose yourself along the way.
Yeah, you lose your voice, your sound, your identity, right?
Exactly. I mean, and 5 years down the line, you look back and like, okay, what was I doing there? Because it's not who I am.
Right.
Yeah, but always be open to change.
Yeah.
But within that space.
I agree with that. And as we wrap up our conversation, so what are you proud of that you've achieved so far in this space?
You mean with this album, or
no, just your whole musical journey?
My whole musical journey. I think that there's been quite a few. There's been a lot of firsts. So I think the first times are always the most interesting times and memorable times, and things that get you going. So I would think for me, having worked with those guys from music school, because they taught me a lot. So that is a highlight, because you're talented, but you need somebody who's going to guide you and show you how to do things in a technical way. So that is a highlight. Having had my very first song sung by somebody as great as Ronnie, I went from 0 to hundreds very fast, really fast. And then I got to release my album, my gospel album, and now I'm doing an Afro album. So there's just too many. There have been too many greats.
Yeah.
And now the most recent would be me winning awards, man.
Yeah.
Like whoever thought.
Yeah.
And with this,
that's great recognition. I mean,
that
you
is
have to be grateful
great.
for it. Yeah.
That is great recognition. And I mean, the album has not been out that long. And the music video came out in August, and that music video has won like 3 hours already.
Wow.
So that's a pat on the back to say you are in the right direction, you're doing something, and we need that validation to say
Absolutely.
something is going the right way.
Yeah.
And sometimes we think God is going to come down and say, whisper to you and say, my child, you're doing good. But sometimes He's just using people around you to say, okay, there's something, you are on the right path.
Absolutely. And so as we wrap up, what's next for you? And what's your word of encouragement or your last parting shot for our listeners?
Okay, what's next is me promoting this album. I think this year I'm dedicating it to promoting the album. The album is called Isipo by Smama. Smama is S-M-A-M-A.
And where do we find it?
It's on all the digital platforms, and YouTube as well. The music video is there. And I'm available on all the platforms at _Smama_ on Instagram, _Smama on Facebook.
Yeah.
TikTok is at _Smama. So if you just say Smama, I might just pop up. Yeah, but mostly it's me promoting the album. The video for your Tandaza, we shot it last week, is coming out at the end of this month. I can't wait to see the final product, man.
Wow.
And doing shows.
Yeah.
There's a couple of shows lined up. So it's really about promoting the album this year, and I don't want to rush into things like releasing a lot of music that is just lying there doing nothing. Yeah, exactly.
No, thank you very much. It was a great pleasure having you on the show today. And 30 minutes goes very quickly on this show.
Yes, it does. I'm like, okay, are we done already?
Yeah, done already.
Okay, you asked the message for the listeners. Sorry, I forgot that
and
one.
I see you're live also on
Instagram.
Instagram.
Yes.
By the way, hello to your followers there.
Hello, guys.
What
I hope you're enjoying the interview.
What are your parting words for everybody?
I think work hard. Always work hard. Pray hard.
Yeah.
And also be kind to yourself, man. I think sometimes we work hard, we pray hard, but things are just not happening.
Yeah.
And we think we're doing things wrong, or there's something wrong with you. And sometimes it's just that life is not always, it doesn't always go as we want. Things are not always in our control.
And maybe just on time also.
Just time, because we live in an instant history era, hey, where you do something now and you want results tomorrow. And life doesn't work like that. So even when it doesn't go your way, always stay true to your journey. I think for me, it's always about staying true to your vision and making sure that you work hard in making it happen.
Absolutely.
Tandaza.
And that's Smama. His parting shot towards you is, keep going. Life doesn't always work the way that you've planned, but don't stop. Someone